In the last month, I have seen what my stomach should actually look like twice. And that's not normal. It's May and welcome back to my channel. Sitting in a different location than I normally do to film sit-down videos because thanks to daylight savings time it's kind of like dark already. I mean it's not, but like in my room the light was just like way too dark, so we're on the couch today. So gonna have a chat. If you've been watching my videos this semester, you probably have heard a lot about this already, but in this video I'm kind of just going to chronicle all of my digestive issues, talk to you guys about what I've been dealing with, how it's been affecting me physically and emotionally and mentally this semester, and just kind of be like really open and real with you guys like I have been, but just like kind of going more into it and talking about like the diagnoses I've received in the past and like things I've tried for my stomach and all of that jazz. And then I will be talking about the diet that I'm going to be attempting to adopt next week. So this is going to be like the part one of this video, and then part two will be like next week when I actually film myself like trying the diet, like meal prepping and grocery shopping and the whole 9 yards of that. I was originally gonna do it as one video and then I was like, that's gonna be way too long. So let's just start at the beginning. The first time that I can specifically really remember my stomach hurting badly was my junior year of high school. I think it was actually the summer between junior year and senior year. My parents and I were in Washington, D.C. and I don't remember anything about what I ate that day. I just remember that my stomach hurt so badly and it was like this cramping feeling of like I was sweating, I was hot and cold, I like had to sit down, like I couldn't walk very well, and it was like absolutely debilitating. And I had another stomach pain on that trip actually, where it was, the cramping was much more like lower in my stomach, and the other pain that I had on that trip was much more high. It was like between my ribs. It felt like there were pins and needles. My stomach felt very tight. Once again, I had to lie down, like couldn't do anything. That is the first time I can specifically remember it, and it's basically just gotten worse since. I'd say throughout like senior year of high school, freshman and sophomore year of college, and like junior year fall, it was like kind of manageable. And then in Paris, it is the absolute worst it has ever been in my life. Like you guys, I suffered in Paris. And I think it was probably some sort of combination of like what I was eating and the stress of it all, because it was like a very unfamiliar environment, dealing with, you know, like cultural stuff and like, you know, just being in such a different environment and dealing with all these new things. So it's not shocking that that's what happened. And I'll get into this more later, but I am convinced that there is something severely wrong with my gut and that it's not just IBS, because I was diagnosed with IBS, and sorry, this is kind of out of order, but I'll get to that. I think that something in Paris really messed my stomach up because I don't remember being bloated before Paris. I might have been, and I just like wasn't really aware of it that much, but like in Paris, like I was bloated all the time, and I kind of assumed that it was just because I was traveling so much and like, yeah, like you're eating like at irregular times and like you're flying different places and it's stressful and whatever, but my bloating hasn't improved since I got back. Like all summer, I would bloat all the time, and then this semester, and specifically this last month, it is the worst it has been in my life. So just to kind of talk about where I am right now with that, in the last month, I have seen what my stomach should actually look like twice. And that's not normal. Like I understand that your stomach isn't gonna be flat all day, like you eat food, it digests, and by the end of the day, your stomach's gonna look different. And it's normal to be like bloated every once in a while, but to be like constantly bloated, like there's something wrong, and I don't know what it is. I was diagnosed with IBS my senior year of high school because I was having all these stomach problems my senior year. I had a colonoscopy and an endoscopy, and everything was fine, which I was disappointed to hear because I wanted there to be something wrong. And then I was diagnosed with IBS, which was completely useless. It's like, what are you supposed to do about that? Like, thank you. Like, they're just like, reduce your stress. I'm like, that doesn't help me. And I'm a senior in high school, so that's not gonna happen. So yeah, it's really frustrating right now because like there's nothing I can really do about it. And until I'm home, like for an extended period of time, I can't really see doctors and like deal with it. I have an appointment with my primary care doctor in December to like hopefully get referred to like a gastro doctor, and like I'm probably just going to be put on a bunch of like different diets and stuff. One thing I think I might have is SIBO, which is like small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, but there's no way of me finding that out without going to a doctor, so we have to wait on that. But yes, basically I'm convinced that there is something seriously wrong with my digestive system, and I don't know what it is, but it's so frustrating for me being in school right now and feeling so awful all the time when there's nothing I can do. Like, I just want to be home. I want to be doing nothing else except going to doctors and getting answers, and like I'm going to be super insistent this time because I really do have a feeling that there is something wrong, that I'm not going to be taking "you have IBS, reduce your stress" as an answer anymore. Like, I'm going to push harder than that, and hopefully we'll be seeing people who care to give me more concrete answers. So sorry, this video is kind of jumping around, but yeah, basically it's hard to feel so like powerless. Like, you guys know, like, I don't eat like perfectly. Like, I eat like processed foods and stuff, which is what this diet kind of takes out, and I'll get into that later. But I feel like I don't eat that badly, like, for the most part. So it's like really frustrating to be dealing with this. And physically it sucks because bloating is uncomfortable and it feels like I have a steel ball in my stomach. The cramping that I talked about that I had junior year, that is only occasional. And the last time I had it was in October. In Paris it happened quite frequently, but it hasn't been as bad since I got back. That is the worst. But for the most part, it just is like uncomfortable bloating, constipation. I feel like there's just like stuff always like stuck in my digestive system. That's what it feels like. It's like it's not moving, like it can't go anywhere. That's what it always feels like. And obviously there's like different ways my stomach hurts. Like, sometimes it will be more of that pins and needles feeling up in my ribs, which might be like indigestion or something. I have no idea. But for the most part, it is just like bloating and constipation. So like, I don't know like what to do about that. Like, this isn't the type of bloating where I can just, like drink more water and it'll go away. Like, this is like a serious problem. Some things that I have tried are taking probiotics. I take a probiotic every morning. It hasn't seemed to have helped. I have this supplement called Bye Bye Bloat from Love Wellness that has like a bunch of digestive enzymes in it that is supposedly supposed to help your body digest food. Doesn't do anything. What else have I done? The only thing that I found that helps in the slightest is this medication called Gas X. It doesn't really reduce the physical bloat, but for me, like, if I feel like my stomach might start cramping, or like my stomach's just like churning, or is like really upset, or it's just like really uncomfortable bloating, it kind of alleviates some of the like physical, like it alleviates like some of the pain, but it doesn't actually make the bloat go down at all, if that makes sense. So that's the only thing that has worked in the slightest. FYI, if you're gonna try it, please get the cherry. The peppermint flavor is disgusting. In France, one of the times that my stomach was cramping really badly, we went to the pharmacy and I got prescribed this not prescribed, but they gave it to me, this medication called Rennie that was peppermint, and I think it's probably some similar composition to the Gas X, but I don't remember because the ingredients were in French. That kind of like helped alleviate my pain a bit. But you really need to catch it early, because once your stomach starts cramping, like, there's no going back. Yeah, so I thought peppermint would be good, but it's not. That's a tangent. But basically, yeah, that's what I've tried. Also, I know that I'm like lactose intolerant, so in this fall semester, I've been not having dairy at all, unless it's like a special occasion, like going out. Like, I don't buy it to have here, just because I know that it always hurts my stomach and it's not worth it. In France, I was eating all sorts of dairy. I would eat cheese with bread, I would eat pizza all the time, and like, I know it really wrecked my stomach while I was there. I don't really regret it because it was France, and like, you know, you gotta live it up while you're there. But if I go back to teach, I will have to be a lot more strict with my diet so that I don't feel the way I did when I was there again. So I've tried to eliminate dairy. I don't think I'm gluten intolerant. Like, my stomach doesn't really hurt more or less if I eat bread or not, but probably as I go to doctors and start trying to figure things out, I will probably try to eliminate gluten for a little while and see if it does anything. And I do try to not eat late at night. Over summer I got into a really bad habit of snacking late at night, and it's so bad. I try to stop eating by about like 8 or 9, but it's hard because like if I get hungry, it's like then I am hungry and my stomach's rumbling when I go to bed and then I can't sleep, and it's just like because I know that like if I eat late at night, that's like a surefire way to be bloated and have an upset stomach the next morning. And I've been kind of talking about it in my vlogs, but on a physical level it sucks pain-wise because I'm always dreading eating because I'm like, this is gonna make me feel like crap. I feel heavy after I eat. I feel disgusting. I don't starve myself at all. Like that's, don't worry. Like I still eat all the time. I'm about to make a smoothie actually. Like I just don't look forward to eating because I know I'm not gonna feel good afterward. Like I don't feel energized. I feel gross and tired and like not good. So yeah, and then, yeah, so I've been talking about it in my vlogs, but I've not been doing well mentally and emotionally in general this semester, and I think a lot of that has to do with my physical problems, because in addition to my stomach problems, I also get migraines and like headaches all the time, and like all together, then that just makes me very unmotivated to do work and unproductive, and I feel bad about myself because I'm not being productive, and it's just like kind of an endless cycle, and like on a body image level, being bloated all the time isn't the best. I don't want to sound like a broken record if you see my videos, but it just is very frustrating that I have to wear like the same clothes every week because none of my clothes fit me. Like I know what my stomach is supposed to look like, and my stomach's not flat by any means. Like I don't look like a bikini model. Like it's like I have like one like little like layer of fat. This is probably TMI. Like around my belly button, but then it's like flat below that. So it's just like this one like thing. And like when I'm bloated, instead of having it be like that, it's like this, like there's no line below it. It's just like this huge like bowling ball in my stomach. Like I legitimately look pregnant. And I thought about putting like pictures on here, but like it's kind of, I'm like a little bit self-conscious about it. Like I'll send my mom those pictures, I'll show them to my friends, but like I legitimately look pregnant, so I don't really feel comfortable putting that on the internet. Just, yeah, just you can imagine what a pregnant person looks like, right? Like about like 3 to 5 months, somewhere in there. So yeah. I always have to wear like a large shirt and leggings because I don't want to look disgusting. So that's that. I just haven't really been doing well because of that. And with my headaches, I'm hoping that I can get this solved too by going to the doctor, and I feel like the gut is like such an important part of your body. So like my migraines and like headache problems could definitely be coming from that. Like I definitely believe that could be part of it, but basically with that, it's just like I have a brain fog all the time. It hurts like right here in between my eyes. If the headache gets worse, then my sinuses feel like lead, and like literally anything can trigger these headaches, you guys. Like it can be light or noise or wearing glasses or wearing a hat or not having slept enough or having caffeine or, you know, literally anything. Sometimes I'll wake up with a headache and I'll just have a headache all day. Sometimes I will wake up and actually feel fine, and then I'll eat and I'll feel terrible the second I take a bite of food. Like the headache will just hit me. Staring at a screen for too long, staying in one place for too long, going too long without eating, like my headaches are just triggered by whatever. And I feel like this semester I've actually had less debilitating migraines than I did last fall. Last fall was kind of really bad in that regard. I remember just like having a lot of debilitating headaches, and this has been better because when it actually becomes a full-on migraine, I have to like lie in a dark room and like can't like do anything. That's that. I feel like that was a pretty comprehensive overview of all of my problems. So let's move on to the diet that I'm about to try. So this diet, although apparently you're not supposed to call it a diet, it's a lifestyle. It's called food combining, and it's kind of been all the rage over like social media in the past months. And when I first heard about it, I was like, this sounds so awful. Like this is a fad, and this is like the most restrictive thing I've ever heard about. But upon doing more research, I do think it's something that's worth trying. I have watched a lot of videos about people, where people talk about it, where people show what they eat. I've read a lot of like articles about it. I feel like I've researched it like pretty thoroughly, where I have kind of a good idea of where to start. I've watched videos of people saying that it changed their lives and healed their gut problems, and they have a ton of energy and they feel great. I've watched videos of people saying that the whole thing is stupid and it made their bloating worse and it's not scientifically based and it's a bunch of crap. So like, I don't know, I'm kind of going into this a bit of a skeptic. Like I'm not expecting it to like be a miracle, especially because, like I said, I do feel like there's something seriously wrong in my gut, and I don't know that just changing the way I'm eating, if there is like some sort of like infection or something, like this isn't going to completely fix it. But I just thought, you know, it's worth trying something just because I'm so miserable right now. Like, if I can try like a diet and see if it works or helps me in the slightest, you know, it's worth it. So basically the way it works is it's based on the belief that certain foods combine well together to digest and some don't, or like categories of food. So the first rule is that you only eat fruit in the morning on an empty stomach, which I am trying to implement that at least this week to kind of like get myself ready. You start the day with hot lemon water and then you have fruit. I mean, you don't eat fruit again for the rest of the day because fruit digests the most quickly out of all foods. And so if you have it later, it's just gonna sit on top of the other foods you're having and like not digest properly. My plan is just have like berries in the morning or something and then not eat fruit for the rest of the day. The only exception is a banana. Banana and avocado are neutral and can be combined with anything. And yeah, so I've just stopped buying like apples and grapes. Like I used to have apples and grapes in my lunch and I'm not doing that anymore. I just have like berries in the morning and that's it. So vegetables combine with anything. You can even combine like leafy greens with fruits, I believe, like in smoothies or whatever, because I don't really know why else you do that. Vegetables, non-starchy vegetables, that is, like squash and stuff, and like potatoes are considered starches, but all other vegetables can be combined with anything. And then this is where it gets a little bit hazy because there's like different sources that say different things. But some people separate it into starches, fats, and proteins, and some people separate it into like starches, animal protein, dried fruit, nuts, and seeds. So I'm not really, this is where it's like, I don't know, so like if you guys like have a source and like have a concrete answer on any of this, like please let me know because your girl is a bit confused. So basically starches is just grains, so it's anything like, you know, bread, rice, quinoa, all that stuff, and then starchy vegetables like squash. Actually, hold on, I'll go get my phone. So in this chart, this is from Detoxinista, and this is the one that splits it up into fruit, starches, animal protein, and then nuts, seeds, and dried fruit. They consider beans and lentils as starches, but other places I've seen them when it's starches, fats, and proteins, they're considered proteins. And that makes a big difference because the thing is that proteins and starches can't combine. So it either has to be starch and vegetable or protein and vegetable. And then when you do it with the fat, starches, and protein, it's starches can be combined with starches. Proteins can't be combined with starches. Proteins can't be combined with proteins. Fats and proteins combined okay, and starches and fats combine. So like, the other thing is like whether nuts are a fat or a protein, because according to this you could combine starches and fats, because like that I have like peanut butter toast all the time or something like that, like a peanut butter sandwich, so like I couldn't have that according to the Detoxinista chart, which is saying that they're nuts in the nuts, seeds, and dried fruit category, which cannot be combined with starches. It's a little bit confusing when there's not like one source that's telling me all of this, because like it's kind of a big deal because they're things that I eat all the time. So like bread and peanut butter and beans and rice, because if you're considering beans a starch, you could eat beans and rice because starch and starch combine. So it's a little bit confusing. But also, according to all these people, beans aren't good anyway because they don't digest very well. And I'm like, well, that's like half of the protein that I get, so I might just be having them anyway. I don't know. So it's quite confusing, but yeah, the basic rules are fruit on an empty stomach, don't eat it again throughout the day. Vegetables combined with anything. Starch, vegetable, protein, vegetable, starch and protein, no. That's like on the most basic fundamental level. Sorry if I'm not making like any sense right now. And then avocado and banana are neutral, so you can combine them with anything, which is great because those two are like my favorite foods ever. Because like when I first was just like kind of reading a little bit about this diet, I was like, oh, like heck no. Like you couldn't have like banana and peanut butter, or you couldn't have a banana like in your oatmeal or whatever. Like that's like so sad, but you actually can. So basically that's that. I do have a few concerns going into this. I kind of have in my head like the meals that I have planned out, and I'm going to prep them all on Sunday because next week is literally going to be like a hellfire. It is so busy. I am concerned that I'm not going to be full enough because going with that nuts are in a different category and you can't combine them with starches. Usually if I was gonna have like oatmeal for breakfast, I would have banana and peanut butter in it, so it's more filling, you know? Like I feel like oatmeal and banana isn't super filling by itself, like you should add like a protein to it. So I don't know, just things like that. And like the way it works with snacking is that you're supposed to snack on non-starchy vegetables, or you can have like the same group that you just ate. Otherwise you have to wait 3 to 4 hours. And like I just said with my headaches, if I go too long without eating, I will get a migraine. So it's like, if I have one thing for lunch, then I have to wait 3 hours to eat a snack if it's the other group that I just had. I don't know. So we're just gonna see how it goes. For now, it seems, I'm gonna do more research before I actually start it. Today's Wednesday, I'm gonna start it on Saturday. It seems like for the most part, people consider beans a starch and nuts as something separate. So that's what I'm gonna go with. But if you guys like have opinions on this or like have sources that you like know are credible, please let me know. The nice thing about being at like rock bottom in terms of how I feel and how my digestion is that like it really only goes up from here. So I feel like I'm okay with like trying different diets and stuff, because it's like, what is it gonna do? I feel like there's really no way this diet could be bad for you. Like it really focuses on like a lot of vegetables and a lot of clean eating, because processed foods have way too many different things in them, so they wouldn't be combined correctly. So I feel like that's like, there's no way that can be like bad for you, you know what I'm saying? Like eating a lot of vegetables, like you can't really go wrong with that. And that's another thing that's gonna be interesting, is because I feel like I don't really eat a lot of vegetables. Like I have like cucumbers sometimes, and like I have spinach a lot, but I don't really have them as like a main part of my meal, which maybe that's part of the problem. Like that's why I think trying this diet is gonna be so interesting, because it's so different from the way that I eat now. Like I have like a lunch that's split into a whole bunch of different parts, and I like eat them throughout the afternoon, and I don't eat a lot of vegetables. I just have like beans and rice a lot, basically. So like maybe that will be good. And I already made the fruit shift, like I said. So yeah, I'm just gonna go into it and see what happens. If it is absolutely terrible and within 3 days I'm like, this is way too restrictive, I can't do it, then you know, whatever, I tried. And I also think that like, this isn't something that you have to like stick to 100%. Like if it ends up working for me, great, and I will adapt it into my lifestyle. But like I feel like when I am gonna be going to doctors and like trying a bunch of different diets, I feel like that's not really a luxury I'm going to have of like being flexible, because it's going to be like really seriously trying to see like what's bothering my digestive system and like sticking to a diet 100% for a while. So this is something that I really would like to try 100%. So if I'm like really trying to do it perfectly, that's why, because I truly want to see if it works. And then if it does, eventually, yes, I could be more flexible and like occasionally eat something that like wasn't perfectly combined, or like eat something 2 hours instead of 3 hours after I ate something else or whatever, or like, you know. So I don't know if that made any sense, but basically I'm just trying to say that like, I don't think that it needs to be that restrictive. I think that, like, as long as you're following the principles, it will still like work, if it does work. That is yet to be determined. Basically, yeah, that's that. Hopefully that made sense to you guys. And if any of you guys are struggling with digestive system issues, please let me know what's worked for you, or like how you are feeling, because I think this will just be like a nice community to kind of like share our struggles and hopefully heal together. Honestly, I'm just telling myself this semester, like, one day I will look back at this and be so proud that I got through this, doing all of this insane amount of work and having a job while feeling like absolute crap every day. And I will just wonder how I did it and how I got through it. But no, like one day I will feel better and like be able to look back at this and be really proud that I got through it. I don't know. That's just what I'm telling myself, because it's so tempting to just give up because I feel so terrible. Like doing the amount of work that I have right now would be hard anyway, and it's just even harder when I don't feel motivated. Yeah, I will talk to you guys again on Saturday when I go grocery shopping. I'm hoping that this will be a good experience, and yeah, I'm just gonna try it out and see how it goes. As always, if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I make videos every Monday, and actually after this video, I think like Vlogmas will probably be starting soon, so get ready, guys. It's gonna be a fun one. I will see you guys next time.